My Telegram is just blowing up right now. I gotta reply back to some messages. Oh, Amelia says, "Hey, I owe you 5 bombs. What is your ERC20 address?" Hi, Amelia. I will send you my address later. I'm way too lazy now, but wouldn't it be cool if we could send crypto through Telegram just as easy as I'm texting you right now? Someone needs to make a token like this ASAP before I do. Yo, my main man TCL just texted me back. There is already one. It goes by the name of ParJar. The token name is Parachute. Go check out your ParJar account. I just sent you 5 bombs, some Dodge coins, and some Par tokens as well. By the way, thanks for everything you do, TCL. What the hell? That's right, I will be conducting a live stream interview this Saturday at 1 p.m. New York Eastern Standard Time with a very special and unique token that tips you in crypto straight through Telegram, broskies, with no network fees. Yo, that is genius. So make sure you tune in this Saturday at 1 p.m. New York time live on the Crypto Lifestyles channel. Trust me, man, you really don't want to miss this one as we sit down with Lindsay Winder, also known in the cryptocurrency space as Captain Parachute, the founder of ParJar. So there ain't really much left to say other than until the live stream interview, you're on your own. Later.
It's the crypto lifestyle, baby. TCL lifestyle, you can beat mine. You don't want the smoke, bring it cause it's eat time. You don't know this crypto life, you tried it cause the buzz high. Fake YouTubers and fake gas ammo. It's the crypto lifestyle, don't fake the shit on your channel. Content created came from TCL. You hate hard, but you know I'm gonna wish you well.
Is your money working for you, or are you working for money? Welcome to the Crypto Lifestyle, the lifestyle where your money works for you instead of you working for that cashola. And oh me, oh my, do we have a very special treat today for each and every one of my fellow crypto lifestylers, because today we will be interviewing Lindsay Winder, also known as Captain Parachute, co-founder of Par Token, which is a token that sends or tips you cryptocurrencies directly through Telegram with no transaction fees. Now, if that didn't raise the hairs on your arms, then maybe this will. I will be giving away Par tokens to one lucky viewer right here, right now, so you can experience the ParJar bot firsthand. But hey man, don't listen to me. Lindsay will surely get into more details on how all of this works during the course of the interview. Well, Captain Parachute, thanks for coming on to the program and blessing us with your presence, sir. How are you doing today?
Hey, Francis. Thanks for having me. Good morning, and I'm excited to be here.
Alrighty, man, that's what I like to hear. Well, how about this? Let's dive right into it, Lindsay, right? Since it's your first time on the channel, kindly tell us a bit about your background and how you got into the crypto space. But before you do that, this is actually one of my favorite questions to ask new guests because, you know, cryptocurrency is like, you know, this whole ecosystem where people from all kinds of different walks of life, right, they come together. So I would like to know, what's your story, man? Where were you before crypto?
Oh yeah, that's a great question. I guess nobody really starts in crypto, right? Unless you're like 15.
Exactly.
So let's see, where did I start? I'm originally a speech and language pathologist, a clinical SLP. Several years ago, I actually got into tech because I was working in New York City as a clinical speech pathologist, and I was working with kids who had autism and disabilities, and there was a really big discrepancy between kids who needed services and kids who were actually getting the services that they were mandated for. So I had a bunch of friends who were in like the tech scene, and I kind of just slipped into the idea of like, hey, I have this problem in my life. I'm going to start building products that fix those problems. And so, you know, originally I founded 2 companies before getting into crypto. Basically, they help children with autism get better access to their healthcare services. And, you know, first company was a total like learning experience. It's a total crash, which I think your first company always is.
Yeah.
The second company, the second company was a much better success, and it helps about 1,000 kids in New York get their healthcare services still to this day every year.
Right on.
And yeah, so before I got into crypto, I was just like a whole different world. I was in health tech. Like I have no idea how I ended up here at all.
No, dude, honestly, that's like the common denominator, right? Everyone's like, I don't know how I ended up here. Like, for example, myself, I was into construction, and you know, it was a decent paying job.
No shit.
There's plumbing in Canada. There's a lot of new developments, so there's always houses being built, right? And the pay is pretty decent here for construction. And but it just wasn't my thing. And then I transitioned into this Amazon business, importing from China, private labeling, putting on my logo there. Got bought out by this $1 million company. They pretty much had a patent on the same product I was creating, manufacturing. So, but I always had this thing with connecting with people, and I like to teach, right? And that's what my channel is all about, right? Showing new new projects, rather. So that's how I got here. I don't even know how, but I'm here. You know.
I know. We were talking about this before we went live. That like I was watching your videos, and you had this insane energy. Like you have to have that kind of energy to do what you do, and it's like apparent from the first like 5 seconds of listening to your videos. Either, you guys are like you're on a lot of coffee. You just have that like spirit of this space, and I think after watching a few of your videos, I saw you're just so passionate about all this.
That's what it is, eh? That's what it is. I really am passionate about this. But going back to the coffee, I do drink a lot of coffee lately anyways, but it's not the coffee. That's just how I am. Anybody who knows me from when I started this channel back in 2017, that's just how I always been. But let's just
I think that's a mix, coffee and passion. You know,
exactly. That gives you this type of energy with those two combinations, right?
Yeah. Get things done, yeah.
Okay, so in the live chat, we have Sergio Aris is here. Nick Sane is here. We got Cam287. Thanks everybody for joining us here. We have Sebastian Faricha. Dude, we got some people, and more people are rolling in. So as they do that, let's actually start it, man. So for someone who's coming across this live stream, never heard of Parachute, could you explain to them what exactly is Parachute?
Yeah, sure. I think it's actually a good part to start where like why I got into crypto in the first place. I was leaving my health tech company, and I was kind of like looking at what I wanted to do next. And it was about 2 years ago, and I think a lot of people became interested in crypto around that time. I was interested in it. I wanted to learn more. I wanted to like own crypto. I wanted to use it in my life. I was really drawn to like the way people interacted around crypto projects. And I found it really hard to get involved. I found it really hard to explore. I felt like there was this huge potential for community, but it wasn't really there. So Parachute kind of started as this project, like a community-driven project, where we wanted to create a place where people could come together in one spot, explore cryptocurrency from projects to ideas in the space, and where we as a company could also explore like what we wanted to be. I'm all about like the lean startup model, pivoting, finding out what you want to build by actually getting feedback from people. And so we had this theory or this idea from the start that we didn't know what this space needed, but we wanted to kind of get out there, get people involved, and find out what we wanted to be by building things with people, like interacting with them. Absolutely. And so Parachute started as that. Our first year, we probably, I can't tell you how many things we did. We did freelancing, we did mining, we did community building. We literally explored every area of the blockchain and tried to see, you know, was it something that people actually wanted? Was it something that needed the blockchain? And like, did it actually do a job for people? So Parachute started as like this community exploration idea. And I think it's kind of evolved into what we are now, which is like, we know what we are and we know like what products we are, and Parachute now versus then, it's been like this kind of like growing up period, you know?
Yeah, like my little time, you know, I researched your, you know, your project Parachute and ParJar, which we will get into next. And right off the bat, the first thing that just kind of like I understood, it was community driven. right? And that's exactly that's a real crypto project, right? It's a community driven and it's organically driven, but with your community was built organically. A lot of engagement going on. You have a lot of people that genuinely do love the project in the community. You have a lot of these other projects. They want to have airdrops to fill up their Telegram chats, you know, with a lot of fake community members, how I like to call it. But you guys have the real authentic, real authentic fanatics in your community for sure.
Hey, thanks. That means a lot. I mean, it's been a year and a half of building a cool community, and we have an amazing group of people. I know a lot of them probably watching right now, so.
Right on.
We're lucky.
So what's the difference between Parachute and ParJar? So that brings us to our next question. I don't want to take it as I don't want to take it as far to say some people have the misconception that Parachute is ParJar or ParJar is Parachute, but I mean you could differentiate the two for anybody who's watching, the viewers that are watching, please.
It's easy. ParJar is just Parachute's product. It's our lead product, the first product we've built after this year of exploring what we are and what we want to be. And it's the product that we've shipped out there because, as I said, we wanted to explore what people needed and build products that actually did jobs for people. One thing we saw people needed was they wanted a way to interact with these tokens that they had. Like right now, if you buy tokens, you kind of keep them in a wallet and you wait for their value to change, or you wait for these projects to come out with something in the next year or two, but you don't really do anything with them. Right. And I found that to be very contrasting between what these communities are, which are very lively and active and engaged. So we wanted to make a product that lived in these social group chats and let people instantly interact with all these coins that they had. So ParJar is a way for you to instantly, fearlessly send anybody a ton of different cryptocurrencies in these group chats. Of course, there's a much bigger picture to what we will become with it. But as far as day one, we just wanted a way for people to be able to have fun and interact with their cryptocurrency. And that's what we launched ParJar as.
Absolutely. So let's get a little bit more deeper though into that. So how does it work exactly? Yeah. I just brought up the graphic there. I did a little short 2-minute video on it, but so a lot of people were asking me, private messages me, oh, so how do I get this cryptocurrency through Telegram, right? There's some sort of backslash, or if you could get in more detail about that.
Sure. So I mean, it works basically with commands in Telegram. So you would just say hey, I'm talking with my friend in a group chat. I'm going to use the /tip, and I'm going to send you whatever you want, a piece of a Bitcoin, Ethereum, or any token that we have. On the back end, it's an off-chain solution, which means that, when you send someone coins, there's no transaction fees, there's no time that you're waiting, and it allows people to send coins kind of the same way you would move cash around on Venmo. It really feels that instantly sending it around, which is part of the dynamic we wanted to create.
Right. Interesting stuff. And I don't really mean to bring up this, but I don't know if you heard of Telegram. Since we are talking about Telegram, right? I just want to put the camera on me for a sec. We are talking about Telegram, right? Well, it's integrated into Telegram, so this is relevant. Yeah, sure. But I know that Telegram, a lot of people say it may have been a scam, but Telegram was supposed to launch their own token, and it was a similar thing where they wanted to use Telegram where you could send crypto, right? And what you said on your website. Definitely. And what you said on your website that I saw anyways, it was that crypto is now social, right? Which is so true. Yeah, if you could send it through media outlets like this, like channels like Telegram and, the other more popular ones, obviously Facebook, WhatsApp. But right now, Telegram, that is so cool for, anybody, because this is the thing. Crypto is going to blow up just like in 2017, and people are going to want to come running back to crypto to invest. But then they're going to ask, how do I generate a wallet? How do I send? How do I receive? If they could do it as easy as they do texting or, Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, that's gonna make the progress for them so much more smoother, right, and seamless. So going back to what you guys have, right?
I think with Telegram, and you even have Facebook with Libra that they're talking about. You touched on a really good point. One of the things we wanted to do with our first product was also lower that barrier to entry. There's this dinner table problem I talk about a lot, where if you're into crypto, you're sitting around with your friends and you're talking about it, and they're like, oh, that's cool, I want that. And then you sit down and you set up a My Ether wallet or Trust even, which is about as good as it gets. And you set up these wallets and you explain private keys and public keys, and people are like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, no, this isn't cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And
No, for sure.
and you sound crazy. You sound like a crazy person. And so what we wanted to do with ParJar was take out all of that. So like if you're never had a cryptocurrency in your life, you could come into a group chat and you don't have to make a wallet. You don't have to set up an account. I can just see your name, your comment, and I can just send you a coin, and me sending you that coin creates your ParJar wallet. So like dinner table problem, I could have 5 people in a group chat and I could send them all their first Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge, Hash, Par, 9 seconds. And that's what the experience we wanted to get. That's like the UX we were pushing for, and that's what we did. To go back onto to Tron or to like Libra, these other projects that are kind of seeing what we saw early on. You know, we see ParJar, Telegram is just like our first launch pad, you know?
Right.
We wanted to make a place where people could dive in, instantly get value day one, and we could build up a user base. And so we've done that. We have 10,000 users, 130,000 transactions, 150 groups using it. But, you know, we see it going far beyond what is just like one social media platform. So we're going to go on to Discord, Slack, multiple platforms with one wallet. And we're also launching our native app, which would kind of be like a Venmo, like a peer-to-peer app that you can use outside of that. So even though we're launching in this one media platform, our plans are much bigger than just Telegram, HipBot.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. You got to start somewhere and excel in that area, which you guys are doing, and move on to the next, all right? Let me just see what's up here once again. Okay. And guys, I do apologize if we are getting any network disturbance right now. We seem to be good right now. Literally right now we're okay, but if we are experiencing some technical issues, I do apologize. And I did try to fix that before we went on air. That's why we were a little bit late. So do let me know if you guys...
That was funny. That was Murphy's Law right there.
That was Murphy's Law, eh? Dude, as I was telling you, this never happened to me, right? And it's literally 2 minutes before...
Man, that's every day. That's like 9:30 on a Tuesday for me. That's every day. Things go wrong. You got to deal with it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we're good though. Yeah, we seem to be fine. So let's carry on here. So please tell us, what's the function, Lindsay, of the token, the PAR token?
Sure. So when we launched our project, or PAR, so since Parachute has been around, and we kind of had the same ethos we had with Parachute, that we wanted to be a community coin. We just gave it away to people for being active and involved as we were exploring the cryptocurrency space. Right. I think we've given away 25% over the first year. We have another, Alex's schedule here, another 30% or so that's scheduled to be distributed. And we wanted to give it out to people for being involved. Now that we have our products, now that we know who we are, what products people need, and what we're going to be building for the next 2, 3, 5, 10 years, PAR has a very solid life inside of our products. So it's kind of like the fuel for everything we do.
I see.
The 2 big things PAR does is, one, it facilitates like transactions, almost like fees would be. And the other thing is it lives and unlocks extra values within our products. So an example of this is this month we're launching a PAR gas feature. Essentially, like in our products right now, if you want to do any on-chain transaction, you know, if you want to move an ERC20 to a DApp or to another wallet, you have to put in Ethereum. And this is a big UX problem we've seen with people that have used our products, especially when it's like the first token they have. So we're actually letting people now interact with on-chain transactions within our wallet using PAR instead of Ethereum. As we add on other networks, we're seeing this as like the universal kind of like gas of our products. Right. So if we add like Finance Chain, if we add other chains that have these tokens, people don't have to have like all these different gas chains to make our product work. We actually use Parachute or PAR token as the kind of universal gas.
I see. So That we're actually going to get to another question, which is you guys do not, once
Yeah.
you're sending it through Telegram, there's no transaction fees. But in
That's
regards
right.
to the gas, that will be used. PAR tokens will be used as gas, just like if you're going to go on the Ethereum network and send an ERC20 token, you
Right.
need ETH, right? So you're going to charge gas. So where does the gas come into place if it's not going to be used within Telegram? That's from wallet to wallet, or how do you do that?
Yeah. So anytime that you would have, let's use ERC20s, anytime you would have to use ETH, like if you're going to send to another wallet to withdraw from ParJar,
Right.
or as we integrate into other apps and you would use ParJar to like send an ERC20 to a DApp, you instead now can just use the PAR token. So instead of having to have ETH for like our first version, you can use PAR. As we add on other chains, you won't have to have those either. And it really does solve like a UX problem we saw firsthand with people come into our ecosystem. A lot of people like get a lot of tokens and they actually have never owned Ethereum. So now when they want to actually like go deeper into the world of blockchain, they're having a big barrier where they're like, okay, well now I have to get like Ethereum just to interact with this.
Right.
So we're using PAR to alleviate that.
Oh,
That's our
interesting,
first
man.
value for PAR. Yeah.
Right. No, I like that, man. That's pretty cool stuff. So, like a lot of tokens, they want to say, oh, well, we have a function. Oh, we do this. We're a utility token. But you guys actually do have a real purpose for the token instead of just saying, oh, well, we're PAR. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and it's one we've learned, like, I'm a really big product person and I'm really obsessed with how people use things and where they experience friction.
Yeah.
And blockchain is a space that's just full of friction. And so this is not something that we just created out of thin air. This was something we saw like, hey, there's a lot of friction here. This
Yeah.
could actually fix that.
Right.
And we also, we're looking at a lot of interesting things as well, using PAR perhaps for like staking to unlock additional features as well. Later on, let's say 2-3 months, we're going to be unlocking a universal QR code in ParJar, to where I can have one QR code for all of my Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, Ethereum, ERC20s, Doge, whatever you want to send me on ParJar, you just have one QR code and you can universally accept it.
That's awesome.
And we have interesting ideas of how our token can come into play to unlock those features, not only for
Right.
peer-to-peer, but also our merchant portals as well.
I like that, man. I like that. I really like that. You heard this? You heard the sound bites in the background.
I heard your song.
I'm trying a new thing on the flyer. Every, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, I'll just play that little sound bite. It's the crypto lifestyle, baby.
You should do that like a DJ, where you just like come in, like the old radio DJ.
The turntables?
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I actually use that in sound effects, but not in the
Oh,
flash.
you gotta get some cheesy sound effects going, man. I'm kind of bummed we don't have those for this. I say something dumb and you can say wah wah.
Yeah. I actually did that, I think, for like about 2 live streams, and I've done over, I don't know, man, quite a bit of them. But I switch it up, right? For the first time having you on, I don't want to kind of like scare you. This guy's kind of like, animated, a little bit too
By
animated.
the third time, I'm gonna have like freaking masks on my face that you put on.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I swear to God, I was going to download your profile pic from Telegram, that smiley face thing, and put it on.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this is the face I know
That'd be
you as,
sick.
right? I was actually going to do that,
That'd be
so it's
sick.
funny you mentioned that. Let me just say what's up to everybody again. And guys, I do apologize. I think we had some temporarily, some technical difficulties there for a little bit, but do let me know if you're hearing us okay, you're seeing us okay, which I think you are. Everybody, a couple of people said, yeah, we're fine. Yeah, we are listening. Yeah, it's good. Okay, awesome. Maybe it was just, I don't know, my screen. So Full Furious says, the crypto lifestyle, you need to join us in Telegram too and talk with us and earn yourself some PAR. Right on. I actually, so the 2-minute video I made, I popped in.
Preach.
Yeah, I popped into the chat and everyone's like, tip. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. So
Yeah.
I do appreciate that, guys. Thank you for the tips, man. And speaking of tips, so for anybody who's new to ParJar, obviously not the community members, if you want to experience it firsthand, I'm going to be giving away PAR tokens live, okay? So what you need to do is probably, how does that work there, Lindsay? Would they have, if they private message me, could I give it to them in that way, or does it have to be in a chat?
Yeah, so there's actually a few like technical reasons that like we didn't unlock a peer-to-peer and private message. But if they do come to our Parachute group chat, if they're listening to this right now and they go there, I think we'll give everyone some PAR for going. You could go to t.me/parachute token group,
All right.
or if you know how Telegram works, you can just look up Parachute token group. And either myself after this or the admin be happy to set some people up with some wallets.
I didn't mean to put words in. I didn't mean to put words in your mouth. I was going to give away, right, from my wallet. I didn't want to put you on the spot like, hey, man, this guy's going to give you tokens. It's me. So I just want to make that
man, I'm happy to do that. That's how we were born. That's how we live.
You sure, dude?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
Bring everybody. We'll welcome some people. Yeah, that'd be great to have people.
Because I was going to give one person a few tokens so they could actually experience it. It's one thing to talk about it, but once they experience it, kind of like put it like this: when you first got into crypto and you sent your first pieces of Bitcoin back and forth, like that feeling was like, oh my god, I'm like my own bank, right? Yeah. So this is similar for me. Right, I got a similar feeling with ParJar. I was like, what the hell? Right through Telegram, you know?
Yeah, that's a really interesting thing as far as products go. You know, you don't really experience something no matter how much you hear about it until you feel it. Exactly. And I feel like that's a big barrier with crypto is like people hear a lot about it and they never really hold it in their hands. Yeah. And so going back to our product, part of what we wanted to do was we wanted to, when we talk about like the chasm of adoption, you know, and like right now we're at like the innovators and early adopters, a lot of people that are getting into it, like they have no interest because they never get to hold it and they don't have they're not willing to put the energy forward to actually go through and hold it. Yeah, but what we want to do is let you come on and hold it in your hands and then learn about it while you actually have it. And I think that is a huge thing for adoption, and you hit the nail on the head right there.
For sure. I'm all about mass adoption, man. And like, I might sound like a broken record for people who watch me on a frequent basis, but I'm just a little bit pissed off with, you know, everyone's waiting for mass adoption. We're waiting on back to launch. We're waiting on Bitcoin ETFs. We're waiting on Facebook coin, all this stupid stuff. But I think, like, you know, when crypto in 2017, when we reached the overall markets almost hit 1 trillion, right? It was $750 million, right? And we did this all without any institutional money or corporations. So why do we need them now all of a sudden for this mass adoption? True mass adoption is going to come from peer to peer, not some big corporation saying, hey, we're going to be using blockchain tech within our company. For me, I don't see it that way. I see it just like this, right? And this is why I love to cover projects like this. That's just like to the person, you know what I mean? Just instant peer to peer, right? Without any sort of any hype of like, oh, well, IBM is going to use blockchain, so we're going to move now. Don't depend on them, man. They're just going to get your hopes up and just break it all down, you know, make it crash. That's what they do best. That's what they do best. Like, look at Facebook coin. Oh, well, Facebook's coin is going to come out, so the markets went up. I don't know if it was because of that. And then all of a sudden now, I think it's the SEC or the government, American government, is telling them to go and pause. And then the markets goes down a little bit, right? I think Bitcoin went down like 6%. Yeah. So they just mess with your head, man, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big thing with bigger companies using it. I don't know if I'd fully agree that like bigger projects getting in won't drive adoption. As much as I'm not like a person who's driven by corporation and all that. I think one thing that will drive adoption is getting the most brilliant minds from like a product and UX standpoint together to build things that people want to use. And I think there is a truth where the bigger companies and the more talented people you can pull into this to do that, the more you will drive adoption. I'm not preaching like Libra coin or anything like that, but I do think, you know, I think there's a lot of components to what will actually lead to like us getting halfway through that whole chasm of people
where we need to be. But like once again, right? Like we could talk about Satoshi Nakamoto. I don't think he envisioned the people waiting on corporations to get into blockchain for this thing to be a success, you know, or for mass adoption.
I don't think he cared about that, to be honest. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
So if we go back to the core you know, like fundamentals or like how blockchain is built, it's not from corporations, it's from us, the people. So we'll just end that as that, because we could talk about this forever. Trust me, I could talk about this shit forever.
Yeah, man. Weekly blogcast with Captain Parachute and Francis.
Oh, yeah. There you go. Right. Hey, if you're down, man, because a lot of people, they can't keep up with me, right? I think you can though, you know. So we'll make a good show.
I'll talk till you can't stand me.
Right. Okay, so let's go on to the no transaction fees, which is another sweet perk to have. You know, we're sending crypto through Telegram, but now with the extra perk of it being with no transaction fees, it's just icing on the cake. Explain to us, how does that even work? How is that possible?
Sure. So it just goes to on-chain and off-chain products. On-chain, there's a network fee. Off-chain, it's just within like an API. We do have on-chain like endpoints to where you can always deposit and withdraw to whatever wallet you want at any time. But ParJar is supposed to kind of just be at this stage, just like a tiny hot wallet where you keep like $5 to send back and forth with your friends. I would say it's like the idea of comparing like a bank to like Venmo. Like you wouldn't keep your life savings or your investments in your Venmo,
Right.
but you might keep like the $50 that you're going to use to pay your friend for like a coffee later, or some stuff you want to like swap around.
Yeah.
So while I have a lot, I'm not anti-blockchain by any means. Like I believe the most brilliant thing about blockchain is you can create a bank at any time. I do think that this on-chain kind of product that we built, off-chain product that we built, services people in a way that you just can't with like, you know, the network fees and the wait times for a block to process. It allows people to instantly send a coin to somebody, and we don't have fees because there's no gas fees, and we're not going to like create artificial fees there for no reason.
Yeah, but you guys probably could have,
because it's off chain.
Yeah, you guys probably could have done that.
Adoption,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but yeah, that we wanted people to have something that was cool that they could use all the time with their friends, and we didn't want to create anything artificial that stopped that from happening.
Right. No, sounds good to me. I like what I hear there. I'm just looking at the chat here. What are people saying? Hey, you guys should make a new bot where you could tip directly in YouTube live chats. How about that?
That'd be sick.
Hey, Lindsay, I'm just saying right now, you know, like since I'm looking at the chat.
Talk to Sean. Talk to Sean, make it happen.
There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna have to bug him for that one.
No, actually, you know what? We will have something like that. We're going to be pushing out a QR code, so you can just put your ParJar QR there, and people can tip you during this interview, and you can see who's tipping you what.
Because you know what, YouTube has something. They got something called Super Chat, and you know, if you guys look at my channel, I don't even have AdSense on. I don't like to monetize it. I just don't want to do that. I don't want to be that guy, you know. And I see like nothing against other people, and they do it even if they have like fucking 100 subs. They're gonna put on AdSense and monetize people, but it's just not my style. I don't think I'll ever turn on AdSense. Even if I started hitting like 100K views, I just wouldn't do it, bro. It's just not my thing.
Yeah, so like in this instance, we're talking about you getting tips for this. Our next feature after gas, which is going to be the QR code, you could create a QR code that you use all the time, or you could use one that you use just for this event. And anybody with ParJar, even on their Telegram, they could just open their phone, scan your QR, send you a tip. You'd get a notification of like who sent you what as a tip, and you could actually just use that as a kind of your like daily tool to get tips from people watching your podcast.
Gotcha. What? You gotta hook me up, brother. You gotta, we gotta integrate that into the channel. No. But it would be cool. It would be cool. Like, you start with Telegram, maybe you could, transition. And I know we would get into the future of Parachute and what you guys are working on and what we could expect later down in the interview. But Juana Garada is giving us emojis. I think that's a smiley one. Parvin Kumar.
A bound smiley?
So Pavin Kumar says, can you control yourself quite normal while asking questions? How about this, Pavin? Sorry to be rude, but you can fuck off. This is my channel, and this is how I roll. If you don't like it, I don't know what to tell you.
Welcome to the internet.
You can press mute, or you could fuck off. We got Javier here says, what's up? Nick says, yes. Sergio says, cool. Okay, QR code. Awesome. Good stuff. So where are we here? Let's get to the next one, which will be right here. So if someone has a Telegram chat, such as myself, how could they set up ParJar within that chat? Is there some sort of screening involved, or how does that work?
Yeah. So we did set ParJar up with a whitelisting process. So we could have made it to where anybody could add it to any group. We did want to kind of have some control over that, just so that we could kind of like learn how people were using it and also stop it from being like abused in any kind of way.
Right.
So if you want to use it, a lot of people find out they need to get it whitelisted by trying to add at @ParJar_bot to their group. That lets us know and we can reach out. You can also come in the Telegram support chat at ParJar support on Telegram. And you can just send your group, and we can review it and add it for you.
Right. So is it a strenuous process? Is there certain things you're looking out for? Have you ever denied a group?
I mean, no, we're not. No, I don't like look at groups, or I don't like judge content or anything. We just make sure it's like an actual group, and You're not using it to, I don't know, run your, whatever scam you're doing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just general, like you're a normal human being kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So going back to what I said earlier, I was on your website and a couple of things stood out to me that resonated with me. So ParJar, you're saying it's not a cold wallet, it's not like a ledger. We're not saying to keep your crypto there, right? But there was something that they said. It could be used as an exchange for listing for people to just access tokens, right? So I think it was something about $25,000 to list on an exchange. But with ParJar.
Oh,
No, like listing fees, right? To get listed on an exchange, it
for
costs around
exchanges,
that.
yeah.
Right, or more, right? Millions if you want to talk Binance.
Yeah.
But, in this case, you could probably be listed on ParJar, right? It's not like an exchange, but it still works in the same way, right? You can still transfer your crypto, right, to other people through Telegram, right?
Sure. Yeah. So I don't know the article you're referring to exactly, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think that goes into like distributing your token, right? We don't just add like any token to ParJar. We kind of avoid projects that are wanting to use it for like marketing purpose or something like that.
Right.
If you're in crypto, there's a ton of projects who make something out of thin air and then try to get like 20,000 people using their token. And we don't want ParJar to become that device at all. So for good projects, though, I mean, I think ParJar does serve a really interesting purpose in that it lets a project put its tokens out to its communities in a way that's very unique from any other way. We have 150 groups using it. We have a ton of really great projects that use ParJar, and they use it to send to community members, and it could be for asking a great question or being involved and or helping out. And it's mostly just like a sign of like, hey, that's awesome. Here you go. Here's some of our tokens. I think ParJar serves that purpose really well for projects.
Right.
I wouldn't say it's like something we want to be like listing here to get publicity for your token that you want to airdrop like 20,000 people. We're the other side of that. We want it to be a place where you feel great with the projects that we add to ParJar. And that's why we're very selective with that, actually.
Yeah. No, thanks for answering that. We got somebody here in the chat, and he asked, MIG business. You heard this soundbite, right?
Yeah.
You might hear like a few more times within the duration of this interview here. But he asked, is it possible to add our coins to your platform? We have awesome community and love bounties, airdrops, and other community-driven projects. I don't think you guys really cater towards that, what he's asking. So I could repeat it for you?
Adding his coin to ParJar, right?
That will be ParJar.
Yeah, I think he's asking if he could add his ERC20 to our project. We have if you go into ParJar at @ParJar_bot, you can request a coin. When you do that, it puts it on a list that we review as a team. So if you have a great project that you want to get added to ParJar, feel free to go to the ParJar bot and send in your request. Absolutely.
There you go. Awesome. So would you say it's harder to probably have your token, I don't want to use this word listed like if you're an exchange, but listed on ParJar,
sure.
opposed to someone having ParJar in their Telegram chat? Is it harder for one or the other?
Yeah, it's harder to get your token on ParJar.
For sure.
Because the nature of ERC20 space is there's tens of thousands of projects, and we have a great community we've built over the year and a half. We have 10,000 users, 150 groups plus using it. And the reason we've done that is we've established a lot of like trust over the years with who we are, and we're very transparent with that.
For sure.
And so I think a big part of that is we are very aware and cautious of what we add to ParJar, because people trust that we will be.
Absolutely. And Lindsay, you did mention that you guys have multiple Telegram chats. Perhaps we could probably tell the viewers what's the function of each one here. And I do have something I could pull up here. But first, go on with the answer first there for the Telegram chats.
Yeah, this goes back to something, and I think Dash at Bomb actually talks about this a lot as well. But it goes into like this sociolinguistics thing of what community is. Telegram groups during that ICO phase, they thought like we're gonna have like 40,000 people, and that means we have a big community. But the truth of it is, like, no matter how big your community is, you never really have more than like 100 people interacting as a community. It doesn't matter if the groups, if you've been in a group of 50 people, you know that it's usually more active than a group of 20,000 people. And we believe that communities are small and focused on what they're into, and that you can belong to more than one. So we wanted to make a lot of different types of groups for people based on what they were into. So there's like our main group, which is where people land and they can discover like our like events. We do like beer exchanges and like really like just community-based, fun, normal people stuff. There's ParJar, where you can like ask questions about ParJar, and those are, again, product-based. There's all these tip rooms where like people who just want to get involved in different languages with like using ParJar and this really like hyper exciting trivia, all of that kind of stuff. Right. There's marketplaces we're building, and then these are just like a list of our groups. I can't tell you like how many different groups are just using ParJar in the same way we are, just to basically use as this glue that binds people together in a community.
Yeah, no, nice. And there is a chat where you could play games as well and receive PAR tokens, correct?
Yeah, it's all like, there's a lot of groups that have been started to just explore, see what's fun, see what people like to do.
Yeah.
I think we definitely live by the ethos of like, move fast, break things, try out ideas, push the limits, see what people want, rather than just overthink things. So we're always pushing out groups, ideas, and just seeing like what resonates with people.
Yeah, no, nice. I like that. Also, guys, if you have any questions for Lindsay, for Captain Parachute himself, he is live here, right now. This is your opportunity. But do me a favor and highlight me in bold in the live chat so I could clearly see it stand out. That would help me out a lot. However, we do have some community questions that I have written down from Reddit, I believe, right? So we will answer, I would ask rather, Captain Parachute, those at the end of my questions, okay? And if you have a question,
yeah,
I would back and forth hop into the live chat and try to get that question answered for you as well. Okay, so you mentioned supported tokens. What are the tokens you guys support right now, and how many are they?
Yeah, you can find this out on ParJar too. I actually don't have an exact number for you, but we support about 20 to 25 ERC20s. We also support Bitcoin.
There it is.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
That's actually, we move so fast that list probably isn't up to date with everything we have. We also support Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Doge. We of course have our own coin, PAR, and then about 20 ERC20s. I can say we really like what the Binance Network is doing with their line of like tokens, and so that's a chain we're really exploring to see about like our next line of kind of ERC20 like projects.
Okay, I thought you were referring to the BEP2 tokens, the DEX, that the Binance DEX.
Yep.
Oh, you are referring to that. Oh,
yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. Okay, and you already talked about the procedure to be listed there, and you got a good point there, right? Like Ethereum, there's so many dApps being built on that network. You don't know which one's going to be legit, which one isn't, how long they're going to, even if they are legit, how long would they be around for in terms of success? So it's a strenuous process, right? You don't want to list something onto the ParJar platform, and 2 weeks, a month, 2 months later, they're like, oh well, they can't be found, or something happens where it's just a shitty project, right? I don't know.
It's the Wild West out there. I actually just got a ping from Iceman, 35 total projects.
On
ParJar.
Wow. Yeah. I noticed here, I'm going to bring this back up though, but there's Digitex Futures. I have a good relationship with the Digitex team actually. I did quite a few live streams with Adam Todd. So yeah, the Digitex has a great community as well. Okay.
Great project, yeah.
Yeah, no, it is. 0 commission fees. So here we go. So Fu Fury says, well done. Thank you, Fu. We have Harris Toller. Do you plan to add Tron and Tron-based tokens in ParJar, Captain?
Tron, I'd like to see where Tron goes. As a chain, I'm familiar with Tron. I'm familiar with the Tron-based tokens. I think there's other projects that have tried to like create values for that chain. Right now, it's not a priority to add it. I just think there's a few others that we have that we would see a higher value add for users. But I do want to see where Tron goes, because I don't think anybody isn't aware of Justin Sun and, you know, like what they're doing over there. And you know, if they have some great projects that come out, we will have our eyes open.
Okay, thank you for answering that, replying back to that question there. Okay, so let's go back here to my questions. So your team, how big is your team? You know, and you know, I think on the website there was about 4 people. You yourself.
Great question. Yeah. So there's myself and Alex. We were the initial founders, and then there's Sean. And Sean started off as a community member, you know, when we started back in the day. And Sean is like the maestro, the genius, the brilliance behind anything you touch on ParJar or on Parachute. He's the lead developer, and we wouldn't be Parachute without him. So he's the third.
Oh, looks like I got the wrong guy on the program then, eh? I'm just joking. I said, looks like I got the wrong guy.
you probably did, to be honest. Did a lot more from them.
I'm just kidding.
No, but look, so we're the 3 founders, but I think when you talk about team, it goes way beyond just that. We also have a great admin team, which are people who've been with us since day one, and we chat more than I chat with people outside of the group, to be honest. And so we have a great admin team of anybody you see in the groups, and like they are involved with a way deeper level of decision making, you know, in all of this, and they're just hyper involved with everything. We also have like a great scouts group, which is a group of other team members who get involved, and they push Parachute forward. And we also have a great group that run like our tip room. So we have a lot of team members that go beyond just the 3 founders, and that's the only way this works, by having a lot of people who dedicate their time and believe in what we do, and they are what makes, you know, all this happen.
No, absolutely.
If it was just me and Alex and Sean, you would be a circus.
Yeah, I know, right? But no, I like that you mentioned your admins, because a lot of projects, they overlook that, right? Admins are just as part of the team as anybody else, bro. Like, they work their asses off, have to deal with the same questions.
Bro, beyond, it's not just like, it's not just like what they do in the chats, like asking questions. It's people that know your vision and know what you're doing. I'm slamming the table. You can tell me passionate about it. They know what you're doing, and they know how you think. And just like any team, you become aware of each other's strengths and areas where you can support each other. And when you get a group of, you know, 9, 10, 12 people like that, and you're kind of like all firing on the same cylinders, and you're just like, just going, you know, you can really make great stuff. So it's not just like our admins are great because they answer questions. Like, they're just a great part of building Parachute with us.
Yeah, no, I respect that totally, man. So we have a gentleman here in the chat says, so Harris Tahir, rather, another question. Do you plan to add features such as staking and masternode in your project? If yes, when?
Staking, masternoding, no. Staking for other projects, haven't thought about it, to be honest, from a value prop. I think it's interesting. I don't think it's something that like falls in line with kind of like our beliefs of what we want to do, as far as like driving adoption and making it social, easy, and fun. We have explored ideas around staking with PAR. We don't have anything concrete there, but the idea of using PAR to unlock certain value props is fascinating. So we're exploring it with ourselves. We're not looking to like become that type of platform for everyone else, though.
Right, exactly. Yeah, you know your target market too, right? You know what I mean? Like, I mean,
you have to. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't be everything. Like,
you can't be everything.
You know, there's this great book, Crossing the Chasm, which is like all about creating products that everyone uses. And one of the biggest failures of just products in general is
it's too broad.
You try to do much, you try to be too broad, and you try to do everything you want to be from day one.
Yeah.
So like, if you look at great companies like Amazon, like Amazon, right? If you look at like Amazon, they started off with a very focused position, and then they constantly just leveraged one of their strengths, and they bundled those strengths into a snowball to just continuously grow. But if you talk to a company and they were like, day one, we're going to be everything Amazon is today,
Right.
it'd be a cluster.
Yeah. Exactly, right? Totally agree on that. One last question here in the live chat box. TL asks, what type of retailers do you think would use Parachute as a payment option? Interesting question. I don't know if that was...
Question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
That's a great question, because I think you also are talking about just the bigger picture of what adoption looks like for crypto in general. Mm-hmm. I think a big thing retailers face when you talk about people using crypto in retail today is it doesn't really do a job. Like, it doesn't do anything that cash doesn't do for people, right? So there's this big breakdown. I think that's why there's been a real slow adoption of it. I think when we would start, like it'd be kind of like grassroots, you know, we would just want to get people who are really into crypto to use it, to start taking it, not because it's a huge value prop, but because they're just into crypto and they want to explore the ideas. I think we are very good at being aware of like where the adoption cycle is with crypto. And so we want to have our products live, and we want to be growing into new retailers, and that could be like the size, the space, the industry, as adoption of retail purchases with crypto as a whole grows.
Right.
Kind of answered that in a big way. I could go back.
No. That was actually perfect there. So let's talk about future plans, right? So what do you guys have in store? Maybe the next month, or I don't know, 6 months, a year. Are you guys looking to expand into other areas, new products, so on and so forth?
Yeah, of course. From a product perspective, where do I start? So we want to, there's a lot we want to do. The next thing we're coming out with is obviously, like, we have a gas feature, and that's a very short term, working on it, want to push it out. Then we want to create this universal QR code that kind of goes into the ability of pushing what we do beyond just like group chat sending crypto. It'll allow people like you to put it up and use ParJar on your YouTube page. It'll allow other people who've already shared that they want to be using ParJar to interact in like their donations or their marketplaces or their charity or like their fruit stand, just like ways where you can start to pull it outside.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you, but you're talking about for YouTube channel. How about I give you an exclusive deal? I would give you 75% of my channels, whatever we're gonna make from this, if I could only have that exclusive to my channel. ParJar, like implementing that. How about that? All right, first dibs on that.
Try to make a deal.
Everybody has their price. What's yours? No.
Yeah, man, we're about adoption. Yeah, bigger than one.
That's the answer I wanted to hear. I was just testing you, but sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, there you go.
Go ahead, Lindsay. Sorry.
No, it's great. So a QR code. Then going on to new platforms, new chains. So not only driving adoption of new users into Parachute, into the ecosystem of Par as well, because we don't want to forget that we also are using Par to drive this all. We're going to expand our products even further to have our native app, which will allow peer-to-peer payments, essentially like Venmo.
Right.
And then merchant portal APIs, and kind of just same Amazon approach of starting small, and everything we do is going to be increasing either our users, the way that people can be using us like an extra layer in their life, and also an additional way that Par can be integrating into all of it. So everything we do is just constantly going to be stacking those.
Yeah, no, okay, good stuff. I like to hear when, companies, they don't settle for one product and they're looking to like innovate even more, so that's good to hear.
Yeah, I mean, you can innovate in a way that is very like focused and strategic, or you can innovate in a way where you're just like creating a bunch of shit and it's somehow all connected.
Exactly.
I think the one thing we've really done well with this next phase is we strategically know where we want to be in 5 years, and we know how we want to build towards that.
Right. That's great. Where it's like people will start a project and like they got their heads off, like cut off their head like a chicken, and they don't know what's the next step. Oh, what's the next goal? But if you guys are structured out and what, okay, this is next and that's next, it makes the
It doesn't mean you don't pivot. I mean, Doesn't mean you don't pivot and change and adapt, but we do have our direction, and we know everything revolves around that center.
Right. Okay. Awesome. Good stuff. And I'm already invested into ParJar. About 2 weeks ago, I scooped some up on IDEX, which is our next question in terms of exchanges. So let me actually just come back here for a sec. Where are we at? We're hitting the hour mark, right, guys? So I do have one more question, which is the exchanges for anybody who may be interested in ParJar. You guys want to know where you can scoop them. So please leave your questions right now. And after my last question, I do have 3 questions from the community, from Reddit, and we will ask Lindsay those. And if you guys have anything, I will be more than happy to ask Lindsay that as well. And then from there, we're going to call it quits. So probably within the next 20 minutes or so, this interview should be done. The live chat, we have David Morales. He's a fellow crypto lifestyler. He says, I want to use ParJar for strip clubs. All right. Hey man, you talked about mass adoption, Lindsay, right?
Right.
So there you go. All right. Okay, cool.
Little QR code stickers, huh?
Yeah. Dude, I actually was in Thailand, okay, some years ago, and literally they were giving they had a QR code. It was on like their wrist, and they were literally just sending them Bitcoin through that. So it's already
crazy,
there.
Actually.
Yeah. It's happening.
I like that idea, QR code stickers.
Yeah.
I don't have to write that down. I'm sure somebody's going to bring that up to me again.
Right.
That's good.
So yeah, we're going to the exchanges here. It's a bit of a rhetorical question because I do have the picture here, but you guys talk a little bit about it if you want, which exchanges, and I will bring up the screenshot here.
Yeah, if people want to get PAR, I mean, we're building products where you can actually be using PAR in your life, and I think that's really the most important thing about the token. And you can find it on our website, but as you can see on the picture, we're on IDEX and Mercatox right now.
Okay, yep. So do you rather people go straight through the website, or does it matter? Because
no, I mean it doesn't matter to me. No, I whatever.
Okay.
Yeah,
no, because I wasn't even aware of that you guys actually people could buy them on the website. I didn't know that.
No. I'm sorry. We don't have them on our website. We have links on our website.
Oh, gotcha. Links to the exchanges.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I rather people just go to our website so they can actually read about us a little bit more than just go to a token.
Exactly. I love your style, bro. Thank you for saying that. All right. So I think that's it for my questions, and I'm gonna ask you about 3, I believe, from the community. Okay, from Reddit. So this one is from Reddit, from user NatMai. If you had the magic powers to change 2 to 3 things about crypto today, whether that be technology, perceptions, people, market, anything you can think of that may make crypto confusing or limit adoption, what would you change, putting aside magic? How is Parachute positioned to help tackle over time what you see as the big barriers? I could repeat that for you. It's pretty long.
Yeah, that's a big question. Who asked that?
This is from NatMai, Natmy. NatMai, yeah.
Cool. So I'll answer. I'll try to answer and make sure I answer everything. So the big barriers, I think that crypto faces, if I could magically erase them, I've talked about these, but I think it's ease of adoption first, right? It's very hard to get your friends into crypto, and so if we could build an eraser, and I think that's what we're trying to do, to get rid of that barrier, that's what I would like to erase. I think every product we build, every part of everything we build is focused on doing that, on making it easier to get started, not only to have, but to use this stuff. Because once you can start that conversation with people, I think you really do make it easier for it to live in people's lives.
Yes.
Second one would be, I talked about this a little bit too, but I think there's a lot of strengths to anybody being able to start a project on the Ethereum network, like the ERC20 projects. Mm-hmm. But I think it also opens up to where there's a lot of projects that are just not that they have to be aligned with how I see about starting a company to be valid, but I believe in starting a company, in pushing out ideas and building a community and not raising $20 million the day you're born. That old ICO phase. Yeah. And that's like a startup, you should have sweat and equity and cash behind what you do before you tell people, hey, by the way, we're worth a lot of money, so give it to us. If I could change something in this space, I think that would be a big one. Like just not changing like the way people could do things, because I think you'll always be able to start a company, but changing the way people choose to start a company in the crypto space. I would like to see more startup aligned projects be born.
Right.
Projects that are like, we're a company that is in the crypto space. And I think if you could do that, you would just boost like the quality of everything.
Awesome answer. Thank you for that.
I don't know if I answered everything, but
no, you did. You hit all points. So there was a company. So okay, Burnt Token and Par Token. You guys remind me in the same mindset and everything, right? With the community driven, you guys have the same features like the games and all that, which is really cool. Engagement.
What is that? What project is that?
Bomb. The Bomb guys?
Oh, Bomb. Yeah. Bomb. Yeah.
Yeah, very community driven and all that, right? You guys remind me of them. So there was another, like, deflationary tokens are on the rise right now. And I did a video on you guys, the 2-minute video there, the announcement for this interview. And Mero token, which is a deflationary token, I did a video for them as well. They're interested in being listed. So maybe they might contact you. I don't know. Do you have a special agreement with Bomb where it's only one deflationary, or how does that work? Sorry to do this live, but it just came to thought.
No, we don't have an agreement with anybody, but I do think we have a compass of like projects we like to host.
For sure.
Like I think it's incredible that Bomb created a space where there's now like 20 or 30 like, I don't want to call them like copycats, but people who could have made an idea over the last year and a half and didn't. And then suddenly a few weeks after they explode, there's 30 people who have the same idea.
Yeah.
I think that means a lot to us when you take the comment I just said about low barrier to entry and starting a company.
Right.
I like Bomb because it was a cool idea, and it was I talked to Dash a lot. It was just a cool idea, and they had a good like mindset for why they were exploring it.
Right.
I don't believe, and this again, I don't know what token you just brought up, but in a lot of the projects that have listed out to me, like I just don't see that same kind of like wow factor.
That
I saw in them.
I got you.
You know what I mean? It's
perfect. Yeah. So I guess so tell them to like screw off. Don't even contact you, or
no. You have to be we're not an ass to anybody.
Okay.
Because I think everybody should explore stuff and do their thing, and I think that's like the name of the space.
Yeah, when I had Austin on, no, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. I think it's name of space, but just personally, I'm just not interested in adding whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Token like that.
No, I totally get that and respect that. I was talking when I had Austin on the program here. We were talking about all the new deflationary tokens that are coming up, and he was kind of like they're copying us, this and that. But he also said in other words, and I also said this as well, that I don't think necessarily like yes they're copycats, but not all of them have a bad intention, so to speak. They would be a lot.
Yeah. I mean, I'd agree with that. I mean, I think there's nothing wrong with people saying, "Oh, this is a cool idea. I'm going to try that as well."
Exactly.
There's nothing wrong with that at all. But I mean, I also do think like we don't, as far as a project goes, we don't need to add like 5 deflationary coins to ParJar. That doesn't really do anything for us.
Yeah. Gotcha. Thanks for the response there. Okay, so we have another community member here, Clintac. Okay, on Reddit as well. Yeah, Reddit. He says this: Whitelist dreams. What is Parachute in 2, 5, and 10 years time? We actually kind of went over that though, right? I don't know if he's referring to. I don't know if he is referring to.
I think he covered that, but just to touch on it, like we do have a vision of in 5 or 10 years, we want to be riding the wave of adoption, and I want to be something that is synonymous like with like how people say Googling something or Venmo you something. I want it to be like a verb. I want Parachute to be a verb for like 20 somethings that they use it every day to interact with their friends.
Yes.
I'm not going to like just go into like all the deep dive of what we're going to be doing, but that's like the vision I want for Parachute. Like I want Parachute and the use of a currency or a token, PAR, and cryptocurrencies in general. I want that to be like a very normal, easy to understand thing for people that they do every day.
Right. Love it.
And that's where I
Love
want to
it.
be in 5 years.
Yeah.
10 years, who knows?
Yes. Thank you for that. Okay, we got one more here. It's from BitShares on Twitter. Sounds like Dan Larmer is a big fan of ParJar. Dan Larmer, BitShares, and he made was it Steam it as well. But do you think tipping could replace ICOs/IEOs as a means of teams getting their tokens in the hands of a targeted demographic of engaged users?
Yeah, we may have touched on this a little bit as well.
Yeah, we did. You're right.
But I do think that depending on what you want to do with your project, it does have a unique value for that. I think when you look at airdropping, that had a certain period, and I think that there's a lot of ideas around that. But I think with ParJar, what it lets you do is it lets you send people your coin for a very personalized interaction. And it's great for community building and for putting tokens in the hands of people who genuinely support you. And so I do see ParJar not replacing an ICO where people use it to buy on an exchange or something like that.
Right.
But as far as putting your token in people's hands, I see it having a big picture purpose there.
Okay. So I hope the community members will be satisfied with those questions. Answers rather of their questions. I'm actually going to go to
or
the live
else
chat.
I'll hear about it, huh?
Yeah. And there should be a way where you could tip them but take it back if something later down the road. I don't know. I'm just playing.
The rabbit hole.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So we're coming to the end of the interview. As I said, I will come to the live chat before we're finished here. If you guys have any other questions, let me just take a look. Okay, we have Cam 287. Please ask, what's the biggest misstep pivot needed in the past year, and how did the team grow from it? Yeah, so any sort of challenges that you guys faced and you guys were able to get over that hump. Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, I think our story over the last year was kind of driving ourselves to hit missteps. Driving, not missteps, but driving an idea really hard to see does this work or does it fail?
Yeah.
I feel like a problem a lot of projects face is that they don't want to get quickly to know. They don't want to push something and really and honestly say this isn't working.
Right.
And I feel like we are very good at getting to know. You
guys tested the markets, so to speak.
Well, yeah, and we were fine with failure and fine with things not working and fine with you know what, this isn't right. So if there's not just one, there's a lot. And every one of those brought us to where we are today. I've said this before, but I think finding what doesn't work is a really great way to find out what does.
That's what I always say too. If you're going to get into business or anything, right? And you're afraid of failing, you're not going to really have that mindset to succeed, because it's going to be a part of the success. You're going to have to, and you get a lot of information from failure, like you just alluded to, right? This didn't work. Okay, let me try this. That didn't work. Let me try this. Oh, I failed 3 times, so I give up. No, you're getting the right information for success. Try something different. And you learn so much from failure. If you were to get this right on the first try, you probably wouldn't be as successful as you are now because certain things didn't work out. So you want to fail early and, reiterate thereafter on the fly, right? So that's all part of it. Elon Musk talked about
who
this
asked
a lot.
That question?
Who
asked that question, by the way?
Yeah, let me just go back here to the chat. The chat just went up. It is Cam287. Camel 287.
Camel,
Yeah.
So with a K?
Yeah, K-A-M. Yeah, K-A-M.
Got it, yeah. So Cam was involved in mining with us, so that was something that we explored, and so Cam knows better than anybody some of the downfalls and barriers we faced when we explored mining as a project. So I think that's a great question by Cam,
For
and
sure.
one I think I hopefully kind of touched on in relation to.
Yeah. Okay, we got another question here. Where is it? I see myself was highlighted. I didn't read it as yet in my mind, so it says, will we see ParJar as wallet app or other social media like Messenger in the future? So you did touch up on this too already, right? You're talking about
if they're talking about social media app, we don't have a press to create a chat app or anything like that now.
Right.
I think somebody might have asked that question somewhere else too, and we're focused on other things.
Right. Okay. I don't know. You could. I think we're done here, Lindsay. If you want, you could leave the viewers with last few words, and I would say a small conclusion thereafter.
Sure. So yeah, if you're new to Parachute, come join us. We have a lot of things to share. We have a lot of events we do every week, and I'd love to have you in the group. So you can find us on Telegram at Parachute Token Group. You can find our website at parachutetoken.com. And come join us, say hi, and we'll set you up with a ParJar and let you play around with it.
There you go, man. Hey, Lindsay,
Cool.
thanks a lot, man. Thanks for everything. I'm actually going to say my piece here before we end, so just sit tight. Well, there you have it, my fellow crypto lifestylers. The first ever bot to send you crypto through Telegram with no transaction fees. It is now official, ladies and gentlemen who are watching this live stream right here, right now, or maybe you may be watching the replay. Crypto is not only just a store of value, nor is it only just a decentralized ecosystem, nor is it only just peer-to-peer transactions, but we can add to that list that crypto is now social. All in thanks to the Parachute team, their community, and their brilliant Telegram bot, ParJar. I will leave all links in the description box below. And remember, you can scoop up some PAR tokens at IDEX and Mercatox. Also, don't forget about my next live stream, which will be this Monday at 10 a.m. New York time. Come join me as we sit down with Max, the CEO of a gem of a project called Deep Cloud AI. So you know what? There ain't really much left to say other than... Actually, wait. There is something left to say. What am I talking about? Hey, Lindsay, Captain Parachute, what lifestyle you be living, buddy?
The crypto lifestyle.
Boom! There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The interview is done. So there really ain't much left to say other than until the next live stream, your ass is on your own. Later.
It's the crypto lifestyle, don't fake the shit on your channel. Content created came from TCL. You hate hard, but you know I'm gonna wish you well.